I've spent 84 years on this earth, and if there's one thing I've learned, it's that the horizon isn't a place you reach. It's a boundary that shifts every time you think you've finally arrived. Most people spend their entire lives staring at that line, waiting for the perfect moment to cross it. They wait for the promotion, the retirement, the day the kids are grown, or the day they finally feel ready. But here is the cold, hard truth that nobody tells you until it's almost too late. The horizon doesn't wait for you. It just fades into the night. If you are watching this, it means you are still searching. You are looking for something deeper, something that lies beyond the noise of your daily routine. Before we continue, I want to ask you to join us on this journey. Subscribe to Beyond the Horizon and turn on the notifications. We are building a community of people who refuse to live on autopilot, and I would be honored to have you with us as we explore what it truly means to be alive. Now let me tell you about a man I knew once, a man who thought he had all the time in the world. His name was Julian. He was my closest friend for 40 years. Julian was the kind of man society calls a success. He had the corner office, the expensive watch, and a calendar so full you had to book a month in advance just to have a coffee with him. He used to tell me, "Arthur, I'm building a legacy. Once I hit my targets, once I reach that horizon, then I'll start living. Then I'll take that trip to the coast. Then I'll learn to paint." He was always living in the then, never in the now. I remember a specific Tuesday in 1994. We were sitting in a small park near his office. He was checking his pager every 2 minutes. I asked him, when was the last time he had just sat and watched the birds? He laughed and said, "Birds don't pay the mortgage, Arthur. I'll watch the birds when I retire." He had deferred his joy for a future that hadn't happened yet. He was trading the only currency that actually matters, his time, for a pile of paper and a title that would be forgotten a week after he left the building. Then, the horizon shifted. It didn't happen with a bang. It happened with a phone call on a rainy Thursday morning. Julian had collapsed. Not from a heart attack, but from something slower and more insidious. Exhaustion that had turned into a terminal diagnosis. Suddenly, all those thens evaporated. The promotions didn't matter. The bank balance was just a number on a screen. The only thing that mattered was the time he had traded away so cheaply. I visited him in the hospital. The room smelled of antiseptic and faded hope. He looked at me, his eyes sunken and tired, and he said something I will never forget. He said, "Arthur, I spent my whole life preparing for a life I never actually lived. I was so busy building the house that I forgot to inhabit it." He died 3 weeks later. At his funeral, his boss gave a nice speech about his productivity, but his daughter, who was 24 at the time, struggled to remember a single weekend where he was actually present. We are taught that sacrifice is the ultimate virtue. We are told to grind, to hustle, and to ignore our inner voice in favor of the external shoulds. But at the end of the road, the shoulds don't provide comfort. The shoulds don't hold your hand. The tragedy of modern life is that we treat our existence like a dress rehearsal. We act as if there is a second chance. A new game plus, where we can finally do the things that make our souls catch fire. But there is no rehearsal. This is the performance. Think about your own life right now. How many things are you pushing beyond the horizon of today? Maybe it's a conversation you've been avoiding. Maybe it's a passion you've buried under the weight of practicality. We tell ourselves we are being responsible, but often, responsibility is just a mask for fear. We are afraid that if we stop running, we will have to face the emptiness of the path we've chosen. We are afraid to look beyond the horizon because we might realize we've been walking in the wrong direction. I remember my own turning point. It was years after Julian passed. I was 65, newly retired, and I felt lost. I had the time now, but I didn't know how to use it. I went to the coast, to the very place Julian always talked about visiting. I sat on the cliffs and watched the Atlantic Ocean. The waves didn't care about my past achievements. The wind didn't ask for my resume. In that vastness, I realized that I was a tiny speck in an infinite universe. And yet, I was the only one who could experience my specific life. I realized that the horizon is an illusion. It is a trick of the eye. If you sail toward it, it moves. If you run toward it, it retreats. The only way to find peace is to realize that you are already standing on the edge of everything. You don't need to wait for a better version of yourself to start being authentic. You don't need more money to be kind. You don't need more time to be grateful. These things are available to you right now, in this very second, before the video ends. The world wants you to stay distracted. It wants you to scroll, to consume, and to compare your behind the scenes with everyone else's highlight reel. This is a trap. It's a way to keep you from looking at the horizon, because if you truly look at it, you'll realize how fast the sun is setting. That realization isn't meant to be depressing. It's meant to be liberating. If the time is short, then every choice becomes sacred. Every breath becomes a gift. I want you to take a moment and think about the last time you felt truly, deeply alive. Not just content, but electrified by the sheer fact of your existence. For some, it's a hobby they've forgotten. For others, it's a person they've drifted away from. Whatever it is, that is your true horizon. That is the place where your soul meets the world. Don't let another year pass without moving toward it. Don't be another Julian, apologizing for a life he never bothered to attend. As an old man, my perspective has narrowed to the essentials. I don't care about the latest trends or the politics of the day. I care about the light in people's eyes. I care about the courage it takes to be honest in a world that rewards filters. Beyond the horizon of our ego and our fear, there is a vast field of possibility. But you have to be willing to walk through the gate. You have to be willing to leave the safety of the known behind. If this message has touched something inside you, if it has made you pause and reflect on your own path, then I ask you again to subscribe. This is only the beginning of our exploration here at Beyond the Horizon. We have so many more stories to share, so many more lessons carved from the stone of experience. We are here to remind you that your life is a masterpiece in progress, even if you can't see the full picture yet. Don't wait for the terminal diagnosis. Don't wait for the perfect circumstances that will never arrive. The horizon is calling you, but it's not out there in the distance. It's right here, in the choices you make today. It's in the way you treat the stranger at the grocery store. It's in the way you forgive yourself for your past mistakes. It's in the quiet courage of saying no to the things that drain you and yes to the things that fill you up. I often think about that park bench in 1994. I wish I could go back and knock that pager out of Julian's hand. I wish I could tell him to just look at the trees, but I can't. All I can do is tell you. I am a messenger from your future, standing at the end of the road, waving my arms and telling you to slow down. Tell the people you love that you love them. Take the risk. Paint the picture. Walk toward the horizon, not because you expect to reach it, but because the walking itself is the point. The sun is moving. The sun is moving. The shadows are lengthening. But for now, there is still light. Use it. Do not go gentle into that good night, but do not go distracted either. Be present. Be here. And remember, the most beautiful things in life aren't found at the destination. They are found in the courage it takes to start the journey. Thank you for listening to an old man's ramblings. I hope to see you in the next video as we continue to look at what lies beyond. Stay intentional. Stay curious. Stay alive.